Hello everyone, very good evening. Welcome back to Pantech e-learning channel. This is R. Divyanjali from Pantech. Pantech is a platform where a person can experience, innovate and implement different research and development works over this platform. Firstly, I would like to welcome all the participants to the pleasant evening session. Today we are going to discuss the concept under the title Forms Handling. So today we are on the 11th day session of our Masterclass Full Stack Web Development using React.js. So before this 11th day, before entering on to today's session, we'll first discuss what we have learned in the last 10 days of our session. Day 1, we have started learning about the basic introduction to web development. What is web development? What are its various applications and examples? How to create a simple hello world application in using Notepad. Okay, so that we have done on day 1. Day 2, we learned about introduction to React.js. Day 3, we learned about what are the various softwares we are going to work with, how to install them in our systems. That is about day 3. Day 4, we learned about how to create our first React application. Day 4, okay. So now day 4, how to create our simple React application. Day 5, we learned about what are the various folders that are present in our VS Code, as well as we also learned about how to implement a simple hello world application in React.js. Okay. Next on day 6, we learned about components and different types of components with examples like class component, function component, like that. Day 7, we learned about concept called Hooks and JSX concept. On day 8, we learned about properties and states concept. Day 9, we learned about events handling, methods and list concept. On day 10, we learned about CSS styling elements. Okay. Now today we are going to learn, that is on the 11th day, we are going to learn something about forms handling. Okay. Let us see what is this different types of forms we are having and how to handle them, how to work with them. Yeah. Here comes React Forms. Forms are an integral part of any modern web application. It allows the users to interact with the application as well as gather the information from the users. Forms can perform many tasks that depends on the nature of our business requirements and logics, such as authentication of the user, adding users, searching, filtering, booking, ordering. All these are the various types of tasks, right? So according to the requirement of the business, we can have different types of forms. A form can contain text field, buttons, checkbox and radio buttons as well. Yeah. React offers a stateful, reactive approach to build a form. The component rather than the DOM, document object model, where we have learned in the first classes, right? Where if we wanted to rectify or modify any data from our application, we have to start from the first onwards. We have to check each and everything, modify each and every object, like that. But if you use virtual DOM, you can directly modify that particular required object only, right? So the component rather than DOM usually handles React form. In React, the form is usually implemented by using controlled components. So there are mainly two types of forms we are having, uncontrolled and controlled components. So let us learn in detail about this uncontrolled component, controlled component in today's session. Okay, fine. Here comes something about uncontrolled component. The uncontrolled input is similar to the traditional HTML form inputs. The DOM itself handles the form data. So it is like a traditional HTML form only, where the DOM itself handles the form information. Okay, here the HTML elements maintain their own state that will be updated when the input value changes. To write an unconditional component, you need to use a reference to get the form values from the DOM. So it will be, in other words, we can define like, or we can be told like, there is no need to write an event handler for every state update. You can use a reference to access the input field value to the form. Fine. So here comes something about uncontrolled component. We will check with this code now. Okay. So the code accepts a field of username, company details in an uncontrolled component. Okay, just copy the code. Now go to start or programs, type here VS Code. Just click on Open. Yeah. Go to terminal, new terminal. First, let us check whether, forms. Okay, I have already created that file. So this is what forms folder. Okay, just go to app.js. Fine. Still we have the code continuing. Okay, let us see what is this code representing. Okay, so now that we are going to create a web page containing some company details like that. Okay, so import React component from React library file. Next, initiate a class with name like app, okay, application, which extends from component, React component. Next, constructor super. Constructor starts my application, okay. Super is a keyword which is going to implement my application. Now see, update the submit button. Whenever we are clicking on that submit button, it has to update with new details, okay. Fine. Next, input take like the create reference. Now update the submit button, that is my event. Every time when I am clicking on that submit button, it has to update the data. Next, give the alert like you have entered the username and company name successfully. Okay. Now event prevent default. So it will default eliminate the warnings. Next, I am entering the main code of our web page. Okay. Here I am going to create a form where I have to submit the details. So click on that submit like that. Now header I am giving like for my web page I am giving a header function like uncontrolled form examples. Now label I am giving like name, general name, people's name like that. So it should be in the form of text, right? After that close the label. Next give the company name as my label. It should be in the form of text. Now close it. Okay, next submit button, it should be in submit, it means button. Okay, close the form now, and at last by default export default app should be there. Save the file. First of all, go to file and save it. If any errors are there, you can see here there are no errors. Now that type here npm space start. Just click on enter, it will redirect us into the web page. Creating a uncontrolled component where header like uncontrolled example with name and company name and submit button will be shown, right? Uncontrolled form example name, you can give any name, and company name you can give, click on submit. After submitting, it has to give me an alert message like you have entered the username and company name successfully. It means a page, a form has been, basic form has been created. Okay, just click on OK. Then, so this is how a uncontrolled form is being created. Now that we'll go back to our presentation. Yeah. So here is about a small announcement regarding your masterclass. If you are interested to convert this masterclass into an internship, these are the following benefits. You can just enroll for internship as well, 1 month internship. So you'll be getting the certificate from APSSDC. These are the various projects we are going to learn in the internship in live. Okay. And you'll be getting applications like chat application, tour management, quiz application, weather application, plant management, library management, React calculator. So these are the various applications you are going to learn. Along with that, you're also going to develop different applications. If you wanted to convert this masterclass into 1 month internship program, you can just register with us with the link given in the comment section. Like registration fees will be 799 rupees. And you have to register with that amount. You will be getting 30 downloadable presentations, and you also will be getting 90 days accessing of recording videos. Previously it was 60 days, now it has become 90 days actually. And you will be getting, by the end of the session, you will be getting 8+ source application codes. Okay, and also 30 downloadable presentations. 6 mentors support will be there for you all the time to redirect you correctly. And also you will be getting the confirmation letter as well as internship certification from Pantech eLearning Private Limited. Someone wants to clear their doubt actually. Predefined ma'am, another this code fully. Okay, actually it's like creating an application. Why we are using this React means already existing. Okay, base folders that and all will be present. Okay, React framework which is used to like view an application only, right? So here what you wanted to view on the web page, that you have to modify. So only in app.js, whatever the content you wanted to see on the web page, let it be an image, let it be some audio or some text, some paragraph like that, you will interface that into your app.js file. Okay, fine. So you'll be developing 8 projects actually within this internship as well. Okay, next comes something about controlled component. What do you mean by controlled component? In HTML, form elements typically maintain their own state and update it according to the user input. If you consider a basic HTML, form elements will be there, right? So it will be typically maintain their own state and update it according to the user input. For suppose we are having 10 users, according to each user, the elements will be changed, right? Something like name, mail, like that, email ID, like that. In the controlled component, the input form element is handled by the component rather than DOM. Here, the mutable state is kept in the state property and will be updated only with set state method. For suppose, even though you are having 10 end users, okay, for some end users we are having, if we wanted to update the details, it has to be used set state method. Please do remember that set state method. Okay, fine. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah, controlled components have functions that govern the data passing into them on every on change event. If you wanted to change the event of the data, so whenever we are changing the event of the data, then it will be using, or the basic components whatever we are using, that only will help us. Okay, so controlled components have functions that govern the data or instruct or illustrate or something like it access the data passing into them on every on change event rather than grabbing the data only once. So complete data accessing at once is different from whenever we want, then only it will be accessed. Okay, so when you click a submit button, this data is then saved to state and updated with set state method. So this makes the component have a better control over the form elements and data. Fine. So a controlled component takes its current value through properties and notifies the changes through callbacks like an on change event. A parent component controls these changes by handling the callback and managing its own state, and then passing the new values as properties to the controlled component. So this is also called as dump component. Why? Because it doesn't want everything to be okay. Controlled component, it will take the current value and it will access, or it will be updated with the help of properties and notifies the changes as well. On every event change, it will be accessing the new data and it will be notifying, and the complete task or event will be accessed by the base component only. Okay, so this is what all about controlled component. Here comes the example. We take the code, go to VS Code, app.js, type here the code. Still we are having code is not yet finished. Here you have to give by default statement like export default app. Just save the file. If you are having any errors, it will be displayed. Control C, terminate the previous program. Now let us learn what is this controlled component example is. So import React component from React. Next class, I'm defining the application like app. So it will be extended from the React component. Now we are using constructor and super keywords, which will allow us to work with our main code. Okay, now the state value, whatever the state value I am giving, it will be changed, right? Now handle change. So whatever the submit button, whatever the changes we are giving in the form, that will be accessed. So that handle change event will be used or will be accessed only when we use set state method. Right, so that set state method I gave here, value we have to give, event target values we have to give. Next, handle submit button, it will give me the alert message like you have to submit the inputs successfully plus input values successfully. Next, event prevent default data, export the app. Now save the file. Now type here npm start. Click on enter. The same example only. Let us see. It's getting blank. I'll check with that. Okay. So handling multiple controlled component. Okay. Multiple inputs in a controlled component. If you want to handle multiple controlled input elements, add an element or name attribute to each element. And then the handler function decided what to do based on the value of event target name. So based how many inputs you want to use, that many inputs you have to add at the events. Okay, so you can see you should add the name attribute to each element and then handle the functions. Okay, fine. Here is the example to work with multiple inputs. Okay, go to React app.js file. At last, you just give me here export default application. Yeah. So let us see what is this example actually. Import React component from React.js. Next, class app application started extends from the React component. Open the brackets. Now give the constructor properties and property super keyword. Now start this state object where we have learned about states and properties, right? So we have started giving the state according to the component. I have to access the main data. Person going, true. If the persons are going, if it is true, how many number of persons it has to display. Okay. So handle the input. If you are taking one means we have done using controlled and uncontrolled. In that controlled also, if you wanted to use multiple number of people, then we are going with this application. Handle input changes. Number of persons we have increased, right? So take the event like handle input change. Next, target, value, name. These three I gave. In target, event target I have to give. Next, if the target type is checkbox, so then give the target value. Next, name of the target. Now this state, set state, okay. Now give the name and give the how many number of persons are there, it will be displayed. Export default application. Save the file. If any errors are there, it will be displayed here. We have one warning which can be also neglected. Don't worry about it. So type Ctrl C so that we can terminate the code by clicking on yes. Now type here npm start, npm space start. Now it will redirect us into the web page displaying the output. So you'll be getting here name and number of persons like that. I'm sorry, we did not give this displaying, right? Save the file, type here Ctrl C, terminate the program. Before this, we will check with the remaining code. Till here we have discussed, okay? Now render means display. Now it will start displaying my data. What type of data I have to display? Form, multiple input controlled form example I gave. Okay. Next, labeling like is person going. If it is true, then person going like that it will be. Next, checkbox, it will check and it will be checking on change. Okay. Handle different types of inputs. Now we have given here labeling the color. Next, number of persons it will be displayed. Okay. So name and number of persons we are going to display on the web page. I hope you are understanding, right? So name, type, value, number of persons, that value only. On change means according to the number of persons, it will change the number of value. Now close the labeling and form and give the export default application. Go to file and save the program and type here npm space start. Just click on enter. It is going to display the content in the web page or redirect our output in the web page. Yeah. So you can see here is person going. If yes means you can see how many persons are going, like that we can give some value. Okay, so that's why we used set state method to because we are changing this, right? So only. Okay, so this is how we are going to work with controlled, uncontrolled input data. In controlled also how you can use for multiple inputs, multiple persons, that also we have understood in today's session. If you wanted to convert this masterclass into 1 month internship program, you can just register with us with the link given in the comment section. Like registration fees will be 799 rupees and you have to register with that amount. You will be getting 30 downloadable presentations and you also will be getting 90 days accessing of recording videos. Previously it was 60 days, now it has become 90 days actually. And you will be getting by the end of the session, you will be getting 8+ source application codes. Okay. And also 30 downloadable presentations, 6 mentors support will be there for you all the time to redirect you correctly. And also you will be getting the confirmation letter as well as internship certification from Pantech E-Learning Private Limited. Someone wants to clear their doubt actually. Predefined ma'am, another this code fully. Okay. Actually it's like creating an application. Why we are using this React means already existing, okay, base folders, that and all will be present, okay. React framework which is used to like view an application only, right? So here what you wanted to view on the web page, that you have to modify. So only in app.js, whatever the content you wanted to see on the web page, let it be an image, let it be some audio or some text, some paragraph like that, you will interface that into your app.js file. Okay, fine. So you'll be developing 8 projects actually within this internship as well. I hope everyone understood the session, everyone liked the session. If you are the first time visitor to our channel, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you really like the session, please do click on like, comment